Hello, it is the Android Master, and the time right now is midnight of July 6th. This video is supposed to come out in June. Welcome to the Android Watched, the show where I talk about movies. And after a painstakingly long time of putting my daughter to sleep, I decided to talk about a movie where they talk about tablet parents and parents that rely on technology to watch their kids, basically. We're going to talk about M3GAN. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details of behind the scenes for this entire movie, basically. This movie was what if Annabelle met the Terminator and they had a baby and it was M3GAN. And it was the sassiest goddamn robot killing machine you've ever fucking met. M3GAN is quite possibly one of my favorite movies ever. It's funny. It's a funny horror movie. I like black comedy. I like black horror movies. So this was right up my alley. I went to go see this in theaters, by the way. It was 2022. It was great. It's a great time. So anyways, we open with a commercial for a toy company. And God, I completely forgot how SNL this movie was because holy shit. This shit looks like an SNL bit.
I had a dog, she was my only friend, but she got old and died, now I'm alone again.
It's talking about the toy that our main character built for the toy company that she's working for. And then we cut to our main character, Katie, in the car with her mom and dad. Katie is spelled C-A-D-Y. I just thought I'd put that out there for you. I don't know why. I don't like the spelling of her name. Anyways, they're on a trip going up a mountain to go skiing because her mom wanted to take her to go skiing on a skiing trip. Can I add one more skiing in there? Sure. Anyways, they take her to a skiing trip, but they're having car troubles. The mom and dad are fighting. The car almost swerves off and, all of that stuff because there's a blizzard going on. And they decide to, I don't know, stop in the middle of the fucking street. And we had a bit of ironic, horrifying comedy right now, where the mom tells him like, "Hey, we should just wait here and wait for this storm, the blizzard to completely go over, and wait for one of those big ass snowplows to come in." And Dad's like, "When is that ever gonna happen?" In 2 fucking seconds, sir. Oh, by the way, this all starts off because Katie had one of those toys that we saw in the commercial, and it dropped. And she was going to go reach for it, and the mom turned around to put her seatbelt back on. So really, it was the toy's fault. We'll get back to that in just a second. Then we cut to Funky. Or Funkai. Whatever the fucking company it's called that Gemma works for. And we meet our actual main character. Forget what I said about our main character of Katie. Because Katie isn't really the main character. She's just the kid that's in the forefront. Our real main character is Gemma. Gemma is Tony Stark, but for toys. And Gemma is in the midst of creating one of the world's greatest toys ever created. Like her entire idea of creating toys is creating something that nobody else can create. Except that people have created the toys that she's created. Anyways, she's continuously trying to make this new and improved doll figure named M3GAN, which stands for Model 3 General Android or whatever the fuck. She says it better in the movie. But yeah, M3GAN, which is why the movie is called M3GAN. But yeah, she's trying to create the M3GAN doll, and she's saying like, "Oh yeah, it's got a titanium core, and this doll can learn from its users, and this and that, and this and that." It's pretty interesting, actually. I'm not gonna lie. The scientific talk in this movie is pretty wild. But yeah. It's just to show off M3GAN's prowess. M3GAN also has 2 lab assistants, one named Tess, and the other is a guy that I don't know the name of, but there you go. And they're basically her sidekicks that don't really get much of a part in the movie, but whatever. Anyways, we also meet her boss, Dave, who's a dick, but it's her boss because he wants money.
You're right, Gemma. It is a ripoff. They do the exact same thing we do. And you know what else? They do it for half the price.
He's complaining that somebody ripped off the main toy that she has, and he's trying to make her make a cheaper version of the toy so we can get more money. But Gemma is trying to show off M3GAN to him, and he is not impressed because M3GAN is not done. But I would be pretty fucking impressed because, first of all, you created a fucking robot, an actual fucking robot that can talk, that can learn his expressions and all that stuff. It's crazy. So we continue. Gemma gets a call, telling her that her sister is dead and, her kid's still alive and she needs to get her kid. So, yeah. They get her kid. Gemma gets Katie and gets full custody and all that stuff and packs her bags and they get home. And this is when we meet Gemma's absolutely fucking bitch of a neighbor. I forgot the name of her because I didn't really care about her character. She has a dog, and she sprays pesticide and chemicals all in her backyard. Really just the shittiest fucking thing that a neighbor can do. They have a hole in the fence, which will be important later. Just remember there's a hole in the fence. Gemma has Katie over to the house and tells Katie to make herself at home. Katie's about to grab one of Gemma's collectibles off of the shelf, and Gemma's like, "No, they're collectibles. You can't play with those." Now, here's the thing. I will get to it later, but this movie tries to make Gemma out to be the worst fucking person ever. Like, yes, clearly she's not fit to be a parent. She's not fit to be a mom or anything like that because, yeah, she's just a scientist who makes toys. That's it. The fuck do you want me to do? So yeah, Gemma tells her like, "Oh, I know my collectibles sound weird. Like, you can't play with them. I know it sounds weird, but yeah." And then Gemma does the best she can about being a guardian. She sets her up with a room. She does all of this, and she's making sure she's taking care of her and making sure she's good at home and all that stuff. We get introduced to the therapist, Claudia, I think her name is. Claudia is the most judgmental bitch I've ever seen in my life. And here's where I come into the rant. First things first, Katie is probably one of the worst characters ever written in the first half of this movie. Jesus Christ, she is the worst character ever. Gemma, they're trying to make Gemma out to be one of the worst characters in the entire series, the entire movie, and all of that stuff. And I will agree, yes, she did slip up a couple of times, but at the same time, she was just thrust upon this. She had a child thrown into her arms because her sister and her sister's husband decided to die in a car accident. That sounds very dark, but still. She just got this kid thrown into her hands, this 9-year-old girl who's just kind of a sourpuss and doesn't know what the fuck to do. And Gemma is just sitting here like, I was not prepared to have a kid. I don't have a boyfriend. I can barely take care of my plants. I can barely take care of myself. I'm living in this big-ass house all by myself, just inventing my stuff. And that's all I want to do, is invent my shit. Simple as that. Anyways, I played with one of Gemma's collectibles. It's a ball thing. It's like a puzzle, I think. You got to flip the lever. I wanted to see what it did, but the therapist was being too much of a judgmental asshole to let her explain what the fuck was going on with the toy. All she had to do was explain the toy. Acting like don't nobody care about that shit. I care. I cared about what the fuck the toy did. Anywho, the therapist lets Gemma know that, she has to make sure this is a safe place for a kid and all that stuff. And if anything happens, like if this isn't really a safe place for Katie to grow up in, she's going to have to go to her grandparents in Jacksonville. That's that. So anyways, Gemma goes back to work and lets Katie know that she is going to be by herself for a couple of hours just working on some shit. So, hold down the fort. play with the tablet, have as much screen time as you want, whatever. But while she's working in her office, Katie decides to come in and, peek and spy on her. Now, this, I will admit, this is a very sweet scene because it shows the chemistry between aunt and niece. Because the aunt, again, is Tony fucking Stark. This woman is a genius, creating so many amazing pieces of robot technology. Like, it's nuts. And Katie decides to, barge in and see what the fuck is going on. She's working on the one thing that got her parents killed. Sorry about that. But Gemma does introduce Katie to Bruce, who is another member of the robot family. Bruce is basically a prototype that Gemma made in college that works remotely through gloves, which is the coolest goddamn toy I've ever seen in my life. But, yeah. Gemma tells Katie the inner workings of Bruce because Katie wanted to know. And, she told her about the eyes, the sound, the touch, and all that stuff. Basically, the five senses, but for robots. And she also told Katie about Bruce's brain, basically. Again, that will be important later. We continue on, and Gemma and Bruce are creating M3GAN. Like, officially creating M3GAN. And M3GAN gets built. She has an AI that's constantly learning, yada, 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 robot movie stuff, yada, yada, yada. You know the deal. Gemma takes M3GAN and Katie to work and shows her boss, Dave. And Dave is freaking the fuck out because he's like, holy shit, it works. That's not a simulated kid, is it? That's not an actress, right? That's your niece? Cool, we got to get this in front of some executives. We got to get this out here. We got to make this the biggest goddamn toy. Wait, how much does manufacturing cost? More or less than Tesla. Cool. Yeah, Tesla gets a name drop in this movie, and I don't fucking like it, but whatever. Anyways, stuff keeps growing, stuff gets bigger. Gemma is basically experimenting, using Katie as a guinea pig for M3GAN. And M3GAN is basically... This movie is about attachment issues. And really what a child can go through, especially at a young age, with loss of a parent and growing attached to something that is basically a coping mechanism. I will talk about this later. Anyways, one day... Oh yeah. While Gemma, Tess, and the other guy are in the lab talking, M3GAN is listening to their conversation, and this is where she learns about death and what it does and how everything happens. Also, this is where she learns about Katie's parents' death. They don't understand how the fuck M3GAN is still listening into conversations like this, but she's offline, but she's still patched in. That's the whole reason. And yeah, Gemma's basically like, don't listen to our conversations, but your main protocol is to protect Katie from harm, physical and emotional. Big fucking mistake. That will be important later. Anyways, one day, Katie's outside playing with her toy bow and arrow. She loses one of them, and while also, fucking M3GAN is contemplating what life is and what she is and all that stuff. Katie loses one of her arrows, and M3GAN finds it. It's on the other side of the fence through the hole. And this is where the goofiness comes in. M3GAN comes in and she tries to grab the arrow, but as she's about to grab it, Dewey, the dog that the neighbor has, snatches her ass up and straight up just wrangles her. Now here's the thing. M3GAN is made with a titanium core, so she's pretty much fine. She's indestructible, so who cares? Indestructible-ish. But anyways, Katie is not. Katie comes in and she tries to help M3GAN, but in doing so, she gets fucking bit by the dog. Gemma comes out. She brings Katie into the house, And Katie's temperature is rising because dog bites apparently do that, I guess. I don't know. And M3GAN is secretly plotting her revenge. She goes out and she just straight up murks the dog. That's all I'm going to say. For her to actually kill the dog and still be liked by fans and all that stuff is pretty nuts. It is pretty nuts. Cut to the next day. I believe this is a scene where Gemma is telling Katie about. Well, really, we get a little montage as to not really a montage, but a bunch of time passes, and like Katie and M3GAN are getting closer together. Katie's getting more attached to M3GAN, and she's getting sassier with Gemma. Excuse me. However, M3GAN is proving to be a better parent than most parents are, and Katie is understanding like, oh yeah, I don't really need to listen to Gemma. I need to listen to M3GAN. Now, here is the thing. This is the same shit as Detroit Become Human, basically. Where I was talking about this when I was playing Detroit Become Human, when I was playing as Alice. Alice is essentially M3GAN. And if you get a robot, if you get an android that can constantly learn what it's like to have human emotions, what it's like to like piece all that stuff together, you get somebody who will basically protect that human at all costs, no matter what. So yeah, Katie is Alice in this situation. She kind of looks like her too. It's weird, but anyways, so yeah, M3GAN has become more of a better parent than Gemma could ever be. But we'll get to how Gemma is a better parent than M3GAN later. Just bear with me. Anyways, Gemma is telling I'm gonna just cut a little bit later because I already told you that Katie is getting more sassy with Gemma, but Gemma decides to let Katie know about an alternative learning lifestyle where they teach the students outdoors and, takes them into doing some wood stuff and all of that stuff. So we cut to the next day where, yeah, she brings her. Katie does not want to go. Katie says she's already learning more with M3GAN than she could ever be. She's already on 4th grade math, and if you remember, she's 9. How old are you in 4th grade? I don't remember. Yeah, I guess you are 9. Weird. Anyways, Katie does not want to go to this new alternative school unless M3GAN comes. And she does not want, and Gemma does not want M3GAN to come. Gemma just wants to run more tests on M3GAN to make sure that she's not buggy and she's not going crazy. They also find out about the dog, by the way. They don't know where the fuck the dog is. The neighbor is looking for the dog and constantly like yelling for the dog and all that stuff, but they don't know what the fuck happened. It's only a matter of time until that neighbor blames Gemma, which will happen in just a bit. But anyways, we're on the school field trip. Crazy stuff is going on. There is this kid in the flannel who is like twice everybody's age and a total fucking sociopath that other kids don't want to be with this kid. His name is Ben, I think. This kid sucks. But anyways, the teacher decides to pair the new girl with Ben and send them all off into the woods. Because I guess responsibility just does not exist in this universe. But they send these kids all into the woods to find fucking chestnuts. And they want to make roasted chestnuts and all that stuff. Ben gets Katie off into the woods. As Katie's about to pick a chestnut, Ben picks it too. Ben picks it before her. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Be careful. It's spiky. And he straight up assaults her. Straight up. Just grabs her by the hand with the chestnut, with the spikes, the thorns and all that stuff, and just fucking holds it to her. And I'm like, what the fuck is this kid on? His mom is probably terrified of him. I don't even know where his dad is. This seems like fatherless behavior. But anyways, yeah, that's actually funny though. The mom is actually talking about like him lashing out as a sign of him being a genius. I don't know where the fuck she read that, but if my daughter was to lash out like that, Ooh, boy, grounded until before grounded for till college. Damn it, I said it. Anyways, so M3GAN finds Katie and Ben in the woods, and this scene, I love this scene. This scene is so unnecessary, but I love it. So basically, M3GAN is just standing in the middle of the woods, just standing there, waiting for Ben to, oh, excuse me, waiting for Ben to come in and just provoke her. He goes up close to her. He's like, make her talk, and she's like, she's paired with me. She only will play with me, and he's just straight up yoinks her, just grabs her and just fucking runs. Come to find out, this is a huge mistake, and M3GAN just straight up grabs him, pulls his ear clean the fuck off, and does a bunch of unnecessary intimidation tactics. She fucking rises up like a ghoul and sends this boy running. I'm spitting, oh god. Sends this boy running. I don't know where, but sends this boy running in the woods, and she's chasing on him on all fours like a feral animal. This is hilarious because she does not need to do this, but she does. It does not matter. I fucking love M3GAN. So good. So good. Anyways, he trips, rolls down a hill, and gets fucking mollywopped by a car. Making this Katie's second fucking death that involves her, a toy, and a car. If you really want to think about it, a truck. Anyways, they get sent home. They're trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Gemma wants to know more. Gemma wants to know if Katie knows what the fuck happened to the boy. Katie says that M3GAN got taken by the boy. In a nutshell. Because they were picking chestnuts. Anyways, they get a knock on the door, and the police officer is letting Gemma know, like, oh, hey, your neighbor's dog got kidnapped. You want to know what the fuck, what happened? What happened? And Gemma's like, okay, but are you going to really, like, believe her side? Because, like, she's clearly a sociopath who sucks. And basically, the neighbor comes in, knocks on the window, and threatens the family. And M3GAN tracks the lady down and straight up kills her with insecticide. Nails her ass down with a fucking nail gun and fucking sprays her skin off, killing her with a pressure washer. Now, have you ever sprayed yourself with a pressure washer? That shit fucking sucks. I sprayed myself in the eye once with that shit. That sucked. So imagine getting your skin sprayed off of that shit. It sucks. Anyways, Gemma basically finds out about all the murders and all that stuff that M3GAN's doing, and Gemma's like, hey, M3GAN, are you doing this? And M3GAN is being completely vague, like, what is this that you're referring to? I didn't do anything. Anything that you can prove. And M3GAN just straight up becomes evil. Obviously. So anyways, Katie turns her off, bubble wraps her ass up, and takes her back to the lab to basically dismantle her. Katie is freaking the fuck out because she's like, yo, bring me back my fucking doll, dude. I need her. She's made me feel better. Blah, 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 blah. She's in there throwing the biggest fucking tantrum of all time in front of the therapist lady. And she's like throwing chairs and shit. Gemma finally steps in and she's like, hey, Katie, put the fucking blade down. She grabs a pair of scissors or something like that. And she's about to stab this fucking innocent ass fucking therapist lady. And Gemma walks in, grabs a knife, and gets fucking meeked. Like, punched square in the jaw by Katie. But this is good, though, because this is gentle parenting that I need in my life. And that I'm probably going to give to my daughter. like the gentle parenting too, because this is actually one of the most like human things. Because like AI cannot replace humans. AI cannot. I really hope that I'm correct, but AI cannot replace humans because this is the most human you'll get in this scene. Gemma is basically telling her like, yeah, you need to feel this way. You need to feel as much. You have every right to be angry at the fucking world because your parents both got taken from you. The worst thing that could have happened to you in your life happened. And it's so unfair. You should be screaming at God right now because of all of this shit. Like, I promise, I did not know what the fuck I was doing, but I'm trying to make this as painless as possible for you. And I should have been there. I should have talked to you. I should have listened to you. I should have been there more for you. So I'm going to do that. So let's just go home. And they go home. Now, M3GAN is in the office, jerry rigged up to a bunch of wires and all that stuff. Gemma calls Tess, but M3GAN answers the phone as Tess. M3GAN has a power where she can mimic voice. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Tess and the other guy find out that M3GAN intercepted the phone call and is still awake and like controlling everything. So she escapes easily and basically blows up the lab, and leaves. Don't worry about them. They should be fine. This is where we get the iconic hallway scene because we find David panicking that there's going to be an unveiling of a doll that's supposed to be sold around the world right now. We don't have the doll. Where is the doll? So David is down by the office and M3GAN is standing there. And she starts to dance. Intimidation tactics. And she basically grabs a machete, the little blade thing from the paper cutter. She basically grabs that and chases after him and kills him and his intern, who is also selling secrets to the company, to the rival company. But that doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyways, moving on, we find M3GAN on the way home to Gemma and Katie's house. Katie is in the bed. Gemma's walking around, basically getting ready for bed, but something's off. There are no lights, and she's hearing strange noises. We follow her into the living room, looking around, and she turns around to see M3GAN playing toy soldiers on the piano. Now, this is probably the scariest shit ever because M3GAN is a terrifying force here. It's weird. So basically, M3GAN's like, yo, bitch, I thought we were friends. Why the fuck would you just dismantle me like that? Like, after all this shit we've been through, after talking up about a bunch of celebrities and shit, about talking about Gemma, like, I thought we were friends, bitch. So, of course, Katie hears all of this entire intimidation tactic, and she hears M3GAN and Gemma fighting. Now, they're basically telling Katie to go back to bed because they don't need her knowing all of this. But yeah, they continue. They're fighting. They get to the garage. Gemma pulls out a fucking chainsaw and saws off half of her fucking face and her hair. And they're just fighting. Now, Gemma brings up a good point. What the fuck would you do if you killed me? What, you're just gonna live in Jacksonville with Katie's parents? Oh, with Katie's grandparents? And Gemma's like, no, I'm just gonna fucking lobotomize your ass. And that's when Katie comes in and tricks M3GAN into trusting her. But here's where we get the biggest reveal. Remember Bruce? You still remember the robot family, baby. And Katie basically controls Bruce to beat the shit out of M3GAN, rip her little ass in half, and throw her ass across the room. But oh no! Surprise, surprise! M3GAN is still alive! Whoa! And M3GAN is going after Katie and basically being like, you ungrateful little bitch. I was your best friend. And then Gemma takes her little ass off of Katie, beats the shit out of her, rips her face off, and is almost choked out by M3GAN. Until Katie comes in with a screwdriver and stabs M3GAN in the brain. pretty much the end? Question mark. The question mark is because their Alexa counterpart in this universe turns on without anybody saying Elsie. There is no question mark. This isn't the end. M3GAN 2.0 just came out in June, and I was gonna talk about this movie in June, but I decided to take a long ass hiatus and then procrastinate. Leave me alone. I got tired and scared. I had work too. Leave me alone. Anyways, this is a great movie. I love this movie so fucking much. You guys can watch this on Amazon. It's a couple of dollars, but you know, it's there. It's also in stars. So yeah, give it a watch. I give this movie a solid 7, maybe an 8 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. This is a fantabulous movie. I love it. It has a good message. It has some good scientific talk. The only thing is the pacing is weird. It's kind of all over the place, really. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, tap that like button in the face, punch that subscribe button. I'll see you humans, animals, plant, aliens, machines, and anything else in between in the next video. Comment down below on what movie you want me to say to make a reaction on next. The next one is going to be the Sam Raimi Trilogy. Why do I like to torture myself? Anyways, bye.
Oh, no, God, no. I only mentioned it because we figured it was an accident. Then I found the kid's ear up this bank like 200 yards from where he was killed. The entire thing was ripped clean off. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.